Okay, guys, I'm going to get started. Excited to do this for Rick and his guys to just talk a little football today. Just going to introduce myself in this first part of the presentation so everybody has an idea who I am. My name is Jared Rolfes. I'm the offensive coordinator at Oak Grove High School, which is in Winston, Salem, North Carolina, in the Triad region. Entering year 6 at this particular school. Have spent a lot of time as a head coach prior to that, as well as working on the offensive side of the ball. My contact information is listed on the screen. Email, phone number, my Twitter account, different things, different ways you can communicate with me if you have any questions after we go through this stuff today. So let's jump right into this. A little bit about me, just so you kind of understand my background. Married, have 3 kids, Braxton, Brinley, and Neeson, all involved in sports. I've been a high school coach and a teacher for 20 years, mostly in the special education realm. I've taught PE as well. 11 years as a head coach and then 9 years as an assistant coach. Most of that time I've spent as an offensive coordinator. I've taught and coached in multiple states just due to different moves related to my wife and early on in our schooling and her schooling and just being back home in Ohio, but then moving to North Carolina about 12 years ago. Again, as I said, I'm entering year 6 as the offensive coordinator here at Oak Grove. I've spent 5 years and entering, I think, my 6th coaching my son's flag football team, which is one of my favorite things to coach. I spent 1 year coaching his 5th and 6th grade tackle team as well. It kind of ran in conjunction with our varsity schedule, and I was able to make that work in the fall of 23 and had a lot of fun doing that. And just believe in coaching education. I attend a lot of clinics and do a lot of online study and different things as well, just like a lot of you are doing today. So what are we and what did we want to accomplish in coming up with this, this new age option attack that we have? We wanted to break the trend of traditional spread stuff that you see everywhere to be able to run the football with a heavy success rate, to maximize the type of quarterback that we typically get and their backup so that they could be successful no matter the situation. And really something that was unique, kind of cutting edge, tough to prepare for, and really that was different than what other people were doing. We wanted to reinvigorate the traditions of complements such as play action pass and the boot game and misdirection and things that we felt in old school offenses made such a big difference that have kind of gone away a little bit in the new age realm of the spread world. Something that would look the same but neutralize talent. When you play teams that might be a little bit better than you, sometimes it's nice to have something that's so difficult to prepare for that those teams are a little bit more neutralized from a talent standpoint. And then the last one is flexible approach that could be altered to fit talent year to year, especially at the quarterback position. Our first year, kind of in the full-blown version of this, we had a quarterback who was electric running the ball, sub 4.5 in the 40. Last year, we had a sophomore who started who was not that. He wasn't super electric, but he read the run well and did some other things well. So he kind of swung in a little bit different direction with some things, but the core of what we did stays the same. And we try to protect him with some of the stuff that we do that either is option or presents like option. One of our variations or adjustments we make is what's called veer kick. And on veer kick, it's a spread world. It's essentially duo. We are basically kicking out what we would call the dive key. And so we still give the option simulation like you can see in this image. We're showing motion and we're running our track exactly the same. The only difference is the quarterback is not reading anything he's giving it, but typically we get teams to kind of move and migrate to their option responsibilities, which is what we want because a lot of times they're displaced. And so we use this when we get a squeeze scrape team or if we just get somebody who's running the end up field. We ran it a lot this year out of a couple different looks. And some probably, more than we did the year before because of our personnel, and we were just better at it. So let's look at it here. So this is a touchdown run that's early in this game, and we were running veer, and they had a pretty good plan and, kind of slowing us down a little bit, and we were a little bit jumbled with quarterback pulled it a couple times, but, this was like, I think the first or second series, and you get an idea. It's a 4 down front. So everything's the same. We got a double call to the right. His job is to really step hard and then come to the inside shoulder, and he's going to win with leverage with his left hand and keep running his hand. And then everything else remains the same. Scooby technique, backside cutoff, all the tracks are the same. And then we're working the crease. Now, he ends up cutting back against the grain. That's just because that crease opened up. If you're a zone team, you can allow more permissions like that. This didn't happen a lot for us because of how we blocked it, unless there was a flow. So we tried to avoid that if we blocked it correctly. But here's another look. This is an odd front. They ran a late shift. So to the right, we're in a pistol set this time. So you're going to have a dive player from the pistol alignment, and then the pitch player comes from the sidecar alignment. And you can kind of see that Scooby or that double team technique on that shaded player, and we get up to the backer, and then we start moving to where we need to be. So what happens a lot, because we show option simulation with pitch or motion is if you watch these defenders, you got guys moving to what they think are their option responsibilities. They've been told all week, hey, we're going to defend triple, we're going to defend quarterback, dive, and pitch. And so they're moving. So that small space of displacement a lot of times allowed our running back the opportunity to really get into space like this because they were displaced enough that he got an edge and he was fast. And so that helped us. So I think that's one of the things that really makes us a lot different than a traditional spread team is that, we run essentially inside zone, we run counter and all the things, but we're doing things and dressing it up in addition to our triple stuff to the point where you have to defend that first. And if you don't, then we start hurting you with all three phases of the triple game. And then when you start moving to stuff that's not triple and it's auto gives, which you can't tell that that's what it is when it's coming, stuff like that happens because they're starting to move to options. So here's another version of it. So this is actually a tight end and a wing or a sniffer type player. So this is a down call. So this whole side is going to wash the front, and then we're going to kick the edge. The idea is if there's an extra player, we're going to use motion, to try to hold him. So in the spread duo world, they would have some type of RPO or something to kind of hold that guy like a screen or something like that. We have typically used more of the option simulation. So sometimes he reacts and tries to fold back in, which you'll see. But I think majority of the time we get him to move and we displace him enough. So looking at the front play, you get a down block by the tight end. He's washing it up. The wing is going to kick out the first player that comes through, which is that number 11. And then 10, doesn't really take the bait as much, but he folds back in. And again, when you got a good player, it's still a 5-yard plus gain before he can fold in and make that play. So here's another look at it. This was in the playoffs, and we were having a hard time running some of our base stuff early until we started kind of mixing this in and really forced them in kind of a space of displacement. Again, if you look at number 10, he's trying to figure out where to go, and he gets displaced just enough, and you got a kid that's got some speed, he starts to make some things happen. So another good example of because we're different, we force you to defend the entire field. So let's look at another clip with a tight end. So here's a really good view of this. This was an odd team. So again, they were overloading the side because we definitely run heavy to the tight end. So you got tight end, sniffer, same deal. We're going to wash this whole thing out, and he's going to kick the first thing off the edge, and we're going to give an option simulation here with motion. So you can see the movement as a result of the motion. Okay, and we do not get to the backside linebacker. So this is a good example where the center, and I'm showing this because the center kind of overplays his technique here a little bit instead of kind of working up and across. And again, when you have a good back, that helps as well. So that's an example. So again, our veer kick scheme or our down veer kick scheme is really, again, a simulation of duo, and it allows us a chance to really kind of put pressure on people. That's a big third down play for us. Goal line, short yardage play as well.